All right, so welcome to the Corner Office Podcast. Tonight we've got Eric Seguin from Strong Body System here with me. Fitness, that's what you do, and I'm not, as you can see, not really a huge fitness guy, but as a past client of mine, I heard about your business, and I was like, you know what? From the start, I was like, this is so cool. So when I started this podcast, I was like, I gotta invite you on, man. So welcome.
Thanks for having me.
Why don't you tell anybody who's listening what you're about, why you got started, and what Strong Body System is about?
Well, Strong Body System is a personal training company. We solely work with people online. Ever since, we started doing that before 2017. So I started my career as a personal trainer in 2013. I went to school for that. I wanted to help people reach their fitness goal. I was always into martial arts my whole life, my family, my brothers.
You were martial arts?
Yeah, I started karate when I was 4.
Okay.
And then I did kickboxing when I was 15, maybe a bit before that. And then I did jiu-jitsu, Muay Thai. And my brother wanted to be like a professional fighter. So for 2 to 3 years, I was like his dedicated training partner. So we were always into fitness. And I always wanted to help people. Like you said, you hit your belly, but having abs and stuff like that doesn't mean you're fit, right?
That's what we're going to get into.
Being able to move properly is being fit. Being able to walk up the stairs when you're 7 years old is being fit. Being able to stand up from sitting down. Like, all those things are things we oversee, and people, I've worked for the past, I think, 7 years with clients, and they have problems standing up, sitting down. So that's why I try to help people to move and to help them do their day-to-day challenges during the day.
So it's not just about you want six-pack abs. That's not what you do.
That's not what I do. If you want a six-pack ab, I'll point you to other trainers that will put you on a meal plan for 12 weeks, and that's what I prefer to do, because I've worked with a lot of clients that I give them a piece of paper and it has exactly what to eat at what time, and like detailed to the everything you need to know. And they'll do it for, let's say, 12 weeks. They reach their goal, and then after that, they don't want to pay me anymore because they think they're there. And then they call me back a few months ago, and they're like, I gained my weight, and I weigh more than I weighed before I started with you. So that kind of threw me off when I started doing personal training. So now what I do is I like to teach people how to get fit. So instead of saying, eat this, I'll inform them about protein, when to eat protein, carbs, what different types of carbs, when to eat your carbs, when to eat your fats, what supplements to take. So I prefer to help people understand what they need to do, so when I stop working with them, they can stay fit. And ever since I started doing that, my clients, most of them, they'll work 4 to 5 months with me, and after that, they're still to this day getting results, just because they're using healthy habits and stuff that I've taught them.
Yeah, it's the big thing in I guess at least dieting is the yo-yo, right?
Yeah.
You okay, I'm gonna eat 800 calories a day for a month. I'm gonna lose 40 pounds in 3 months, and then 2 years later, like you said,
they yo-yo right back.
I'm I think that what you're talking about is great. It's the lifestyle that you're teaching, the habits, not just here's how to get rich quick or get fit quick, right? Mm-hmm. You got to work at everything. There's nothing that's just instant.
Exactly. I like to compare fitness as an investment. You're investing into a healthy lifestyle. Yeah. Right? So there's a lot of times that people will come up to me and they'll be like, okay, I want to lose 20 pounds, so I'm going to work out 7 times a week. I'm going to cut all carbs, and I'm going to stop eating past 7. And I'm like, okay, can you do that for the next 5 years of your life? And most of the time they're like, no, that's unrealistic. So instead, start with microdosing your training, or microdosing different things with I say microdosing, but just small increments day by day. And over time, you'll see big results. And instead of yo-yoing back to your weight that you were before, you'll most likely lose the weight and keep it off. So instead of saying I'll work out 7 times a week and cut all carbs, you can start with, okay, I'll do one workout. And then once one workout gets easy, you add another one. And then once that gets easy, you add another one. And it's all about routine. You build it in your routine, and it'll stick with you forever. So that's what I like to preach. I like to, when I start with clients, I always tell them, can you do this for the next 5 years? Even if you're not working with me, can you still be able to do 3 workouts a week, still eat healthier habits. So like instead of going out every morning to Starbucks and getting a frappuccino, do your coffee at home. Take it black. Take milk. Put a bit of sweetener, whatever you want. Just do healthier things with over time, and then you'll see results come. Yeah. People want things too quickly.
I know. We're going to pop up a photo of me like 5 years ago, so it's going to be right here. I used to be in a lot better shape, and I was doing the extreme thing. I was like, I was really overweight, and I was like, I'm just going to eat 1,200 calories a day, and I was working out a lot. It was great. It was really intense for like a year and a half. And then it fizzled out, right? Kind of, you don't go, I'm at my goal now. I look good, just look. It was not really a lifestyle for me. It was just like I needed to be in shape because I looked at myself in the mirror and it was like horrendous. So, now I'm on my yo-yo upwards. I know having kids. It's an excuse, but it's like it's a lot going on with work, 2 kids. Yeah,
it is. Yeah. I don't have kids, but I do have pets, and it's a big commitment. But it's all about routine and scheduling your stuff and making sure. Like sometimes me, before work at 4 a.m., I'll do a workout. Not because I need 4 a.m. Yeah, I work at 5. Well, I get up, start at 5:36 usually. But recently I changed that because I don't just work with clients now. Okay. I did full-time personal training up until COVID, and then I had my gym, and then that's when I met you, and we were looking for a house to move the gym into our house. Yeah. And then I changed the way that I train with my clients, so now I only see clients on Fridays. And then I create content for them online. So I do like online training and then hybrid training where they work online, and on Friday they see me in my basement. And I decided to take up my apprenticeship as an electrician. So now I do that Monday to Thursday.
Oh, my goodness.
6 to 3. And then I have clients usually after. But the clients that I have are like long-term clients that I had for like the past 3 years that still want to pay me to do personal training. And I'll do it as long as they want to do it. Okay. But like all the other clients that I'm doing now, ever since I met you, I only take clients on Friday and only do online training.
Okay. Yeah. So that's the focus. I think COVID changed a lot too, right? Like even for real estate, you buy a house online.
Yeah, exactly.
Everything is different. So so have you found that like clients get the same satisfaction and motivation from being online?
Some do, some don't. Okay. But I think if you deliver it the right way, they do. Like online training, if you just give them a program and you don't keep them accountable, they'll probably not stick to it. So that's why every Friday, either I check in with them virtually, so on FaceTime, Zoom, Google Meet. But most of the people that live nearby, they just come in to my studio to just do a check-in, ask questions about their form, and I think just that one day keeps them accountable. And it's kind of a win-win. For me, I have more time on my hands, and for them, they save money and they still have the same benefits of working with a personal trainer.
Okay, yeah. So like you. So run me through it. So let's say I'm going to become your client. What do we do? What's the steps?
So first we have an assessment where we're going to determine your goals, see what you want to achieve, see if we're the right fit. Because I don't want to take a client that either we don't get along or I can't really help them. Okay. So first of all is an assessment, and then we determine are you comfortable with your training? Do you know how to execute your exercise properly? If so, then I'll offer them online training, which I set them up with a fully customized training program. You have all the videos, sets, reps, everything on your mobile phone. Oh, wow. And sometimes people are like, oh, well, I'm just getting started. I'm not too comfortable with my form. So then I'll offer online training, online coaching, where they check in with me in person bi-weekly. So every Friday. Okay. Every second week, they'll come into my studio, and then we'll just go over a form. Most of the time, it's people with specific goals, like people who want to increase their strength with the squat, bench, deadlift. If they do powerlifting, or someone that has an injury and they want to overcome that injury, then that's the perfect time to just like every second week we can check up on their form, check up on what they're doing, give tips, and then the last one is hybrid training, which is like a mix of online and personal training. So every Friday we have an hour 30 session, and then you have a fully customized training program online. you just have more accountability, and that's usually when people they're either getting ready for a powerlifting competition and they really want to tune into their squat, deadlift. And then I just help them with that on a weekly basis.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
So you started like in a shipping container, correct?
Kinda, yeah. It was like a. Well, no, I didn't start in I started before that. I was pretty lucky. My parents, when we decided me and my brother wanted to start a business, my brother has a martial arts gym in Orleans.
Oh,
and
wow.
he does Muay Thai. He does a lot of kids classes. So, like,
Okay.
he teaches self-defense. He teaches jiu-jitsu, Muay Thai. So we wanted to start something like that where we had martial arts and we had personal training. And my parents were extremely supportive. So they actually, like, they emptied their entire basement. I can send you a picture if you want to pop it up, too.
Pop it up right here.
We had like on one side we had my personal training studio, and on the other side we had like his little dojo. That's where crazy. He had like his mats, a punching bag, and we started most of our clients were like friends and family coming over for training. And then my brother, it was mostly like group classes, so he grew out of the basement quicker than I did, and then he found another spot, and then he rented out the space. Okay. So I took over the whole basement and I started buying equipment. And then I was working at a pro physio, so I was like a exercise therapist. So I was helping people over there, and so I was working a lot with people with injuries. I was meeting a lot of people that wanted personal training, so I would often give my card, and then they would reach out to me. And then I went to the point where I like the business I had outgrew the income I was doing at my full-time job. So I kind of let go of that, and I took up personal training, Strong Body System full-time. And at that time, that's when I started online training in 2017. That's when I decided to...
That was still popular back then?
It wasn't popular. It was starting to be popular. And there was a guy that from Toronto, he's like he writes a lot of books about like personal training and how to get clients and stuff like that. So I was following him, and he offered a class called Online Training Academy. So I took it up, and it explained everything on how to set up your online business, how to get clients, how to... put programs together to offer people. So I started in 2017, way before COVID. So when COVID happened, like I was already. So
you weren't just like, yeah, I'm going to take advantage of COVID. You were legit. You were there before.
Yeah. So I was doing it. So that's why when I had actually during COVID, I had a lot of new clients that came to me because they weren't satisfied with the online training they were getting with another trainer. And then once I showed them my setup and how I deliver my programs, They actually said, like, oh, my God, this is way better than an Excel spreadsheet that I'm getting. Yeah. So they signed up there. But, yeah, so back to the story. I was in my parents' basement, outgrew my full-time job, so I was doing SBS full-time. And then in beginning of 2019, I was outgrowing my parents' basement. I wanted to buy new equipment. I wanted to buy things to use with my clients, and I didn't have the space. So then I found... I'm big on manifesting, so I was like manifesting this like perfect garage. Ideally, we want it on our property, like you know. And then I found this garage. It was like super cheap rent. The place was horrible when I walked in. Like it was a storage place that people would use as like to store some of their equipment and then to use as like to paint stuff. I don't know. It was really weird. So me and MA, we took like a full month, like. December of 2019, we gutted the place. We redid the insulation. We repainted. We added some stuff. We added an office, and then we filled it up with all my equipment. And then 3 months later, COVID happened. They were like, close your doors. Can't have any clients. Like, that's how I felt. But every business had to close. So 3 months in, I had to close my doors. I was okay because I had online training. It stuck because at that time I had a lot of personal training, one-on-one personal training, and the business was doing really well, and then I had to close my doors. So I put all my clients online, but then the prices from personal training to online changes. So my income was still there, but it was drastically less than what I was making, but I still had to pay my rent. Yeah. So for a whole, I think 2 years during COVID, when it was like, okay, you can open, you have to close. You can open, you have to close. All that time, like, I was barely making rent, because like the government was helping us, but we still weren't able to bring people in, and it was still like a lot of heating, hydro, all those things add up, and we had just bought a house. So after a while, my landlord came up to me and they actually wanted to up my rent, and I said no, let's get out of here. And then MA suggested that we just use the basement, and ever since, like it's a win-win. My gym is in my basement. It's no overhead cost, extra overhead cost, and I like it. The way where we're located, it's right off the highway. It's easy for my clients to access, and that's partially the reason why I started my apprenticeship, because we were looking to get the big garage built on our property, and I looked in like right when we bought the house in 2020. The rent, like they charged us, I think $83,000 for the big garage turnkey project.
Expensive.
It was expensive, but it was still like it was in the budget.
Mm-hmm.
And then with the prices of inflation, they reached out like a few weeks later, and they're like, "Okay, no, this is the new price." So it went from $83,000 to $215,000 for
$215,000
for the same garage.
What kind of garage is this?
It was like a steel frame garage, fully insulated. Heated floor heating. Okay,
yeah. Nice.
So it was like everything, because we wanted we're gonna stay there for a while, and if we want a big garage and a nice place to do the business, I want to do that well the first time.
Yeah.
So that's why, like with all the prices, and then most of the businesses, they don't even care if you have income. They're like, oh, you've been affected with COVID. You're a sole proprietorship. We can't give you a loan or stuff like that. It was harder to get a loan. So I decided, like, for the next 5 years, I'm going to focus on my online business, and I'm going to finish my apprenticeship. Because I find it's like getting into the trades in 5 years, even if I don't want to work as an electrician, it's a good skill to have.
Okay, so you're not 100% set that you want to leave the fitness industry.
No. Fitness, like, the way I look at it is it's like taking a step back to take a leap forward. Like I still want my garage. I still want my whole gym. I want to have personal trainers work for me in my garage. I want to be able to offer personal trainers things that I wish I had when I first started. Like a place where I don't charge you freaking 30-40% of your income. If you have a client per month, it's a small overhead fee that you pay just to use the equipment. I want to be able to offer that to trainers, but in the situation we are with COVID and everything, it's just the smartest decision to do, to just take a step back, complete an apprenticeship. It's a win-win. I get paid to learn. I go to school for 8 weeks, 3 times in the next 5 years. In the meantime, I still have clients. I'm still working with clients. I still have my online business. So it's just taking a little breather after 2 years of uncertainties and just the whole COVID thing. So, that's the game plan.
That's really interesting. Like, because to branch off into, like you said, taking a step back so you can go forward, that's great, and that's smart, right? Because if you're saying you can build some kind of gym empire on your property, which is a nice property, by the way,
thank you.
Right? Like in that big garage, and then you've got the space too, right? So you can have like an autonomously run business, like going by itself while you're doing something else, if you really wanted to, right? So, kudos.
That's the game plan. And also during COVID, like with all the extra time on my hand, MA was making me do a bunch of work at home. Yeah. And I kind of fell in love with like working with my hands and like using tools.
Were you always into that stuff?
Partly. Like I was always into building stuff because my dad is a good, like
he's handy guy.
He's a super like he remodeled my mom's house and did everything, and I learned a lot from him, and I always had that passion to like build stuff with wood or do something with my hands and just like anything in construction, but I never really tried it. And then with COVID, I kind of had the experience of like just trying to build this stuff, and it actually turned out looking good. Yeah. And then I did my research too. Like I find to become an electrician, it's a growing trade. In the next 5-6 years, we're going to have a lot more electric cars. We're going to have a lot more plugs to install in garages. You're going to have a lot of hot tubs to hook up.
I paid $2,600 for this hot tub installation.
Yeah, so see that there is money to be made, and it's just like for me, I'll be the third generation electrician in my family.
Oh, okay.
So it's kind of like I grew up.
It's not a new thing.
It's not a new thing. Well, it's a new thing doing it, but like I remember when I was like 4, 5, 6 years old, growing up around my uncle, my grandfather, my dad, all working as electricians and like seeing stuff that they were doing, and then now being able to do that, it kind of just like, oh, I know how to do this, and I just do it. So I like it.
Yeah. Back to your brother is he like a black belt or what? Like you said, he does like, or you both do like jiu-jitsu, Muay Thai, karate. Are you guys like ranked?
So we're actually I'm the youngest of three,
Okay,
and we're my whole family are all black belts.
that's insane.
Because my dad's dream was to be like a karate master. So it started then when we were young. He put all three of us in karate. I was 4. My middle brother was 6, and then my oldest brother was 7 or 8. And we started then, and then we did karate up until I got my black belt. My oldest brother got his 2nd degree black belt. My middle brother got his 3rd degree black belt. My dad is 5th degree black belt. And then, but karate, like I must say, karate is like a recreational sport. Like if you,
How so?
So like if you're in a street fight, you
just
have karate and Muay Thai will win. Karate is more like don't throw the first punch. Use that first punch as like defense.
Discipline. I don't like
a lot of discipline.
Oh, yeah.
I feel like
I did karate too.
Yeah,
but it was like very recreational karate. I don't know if it was like your level karate. Like it was like. Yeah, I don't know. Like, I don't feel like I don't. First of all, I don't remember anything.
Yeah.
I think I got to like blue belt, but like, it's just. I guess like different places train differently. Or I don't know.
There's a lot of different types of karate. Like you said, blue belt. We didn't have blue belt.
Oh, okay.
Us, it was like Shotokan International, so International Shotokan, which is from like Okinawa, and it's just like a lot of self defense. And for me, I'm grateful for it because it taught me. Like respect, discipline, and all my brothers too. They're really respectful, really well disciplined. But yeah, so at one point, my middle brother Nick, he wanted to fight. Like this is his dream was to be in the UFC. Like I think still to this day he wants to be in the UFC.
You should have brought him.
I should have brought him.
I could have fought him. No, I'm just kidding.
You would have liked it. My brother has one of these mustache that curls up like this.
God.
It would have fit in well with me and my hair. But yeah, so he wanted to fight. So at one point, he just decided to stop doing karate, and he went to like a MMA gym, and he started doing like I think it was like kickboxing and Brazilian jiu-jitsu.
Okay.
So he did that for like maybe a year or two, and then I wanted to join, so I started training with him. And then at that point, I left for school in Sudbury to like to go to school for that because I wanted to do my studying in French. I wanted to be like a bilingual personal trainer. So he kept training, and then when I came back, he was at a gym in Canada, training out there, and he was working at a gym, but at the same time training, and he wanted to like step up and start doing like fights and fight like almost to the like he wanted to go pro at that point. And I remember coming back from Sudbury, not knowing what to do. I wanted to like maybe work at a gym, but I wasn't sure. So he's like, "Come work with me. Like we'll have this gym, we can train all day." And you'll get paid to like help out at the gym. So I'm like, okay, well, let's do that. So for like 3 years, we trained. We would sleep in. We would wake up at 10. We would go to Good Life, do a workout. We would drive to Canada, do 2 hours of training, do an after-school program where we pick up kids at schools, bring them to the gym, do their homework, and then teach them martial arts. At 6, all their parents would pick them up, and then we would do another 3 hours of training. So we did that for three years straight. And my brother was fighting at that point.
Like fighting, like
Muay Thai.
Like,
you can look it up on YouTube. If you write Eric Seguin Muay Thai, you'll see all his fights that are there. And I personally find the latest one he did in 2018 is the best. Like, it was the best, but then after that he had hip surgery.
Oh.
And then COVID happened, and then he has lots of goals in life, and I think his gym took.
We got to get him on the podcast.
Yeah, well, I'll bring him next time. He'll enjoy it. But yeah, he's a badass guy. He can. I've seen him fight. I've seen what he can do. And
do you think it takes like a special person to enter into a legitimate fight? Yeah. I watch the UFC a lot. I'm like, how do these people go in? Like, obviously they're super focused, but it's just like the mentality of like going in to fight somebody until you get knocked out is just like, I think like not everybody can do that.
Oh,
Would
no.
you agree? Like, it's just not for everyone.
No.
I don't think I could do that. Like,
I did it. I never fought like a fight like he did. Like I did jiu-jitsu competition. I did karate competition, and like I had fun. But you have to you want it a different level than anybody else. Like me, I'm a blue belt in jiu-jitsu, black belt in karate. My oldest brother is blue belt in jiu-jitsu, black belt, 2nd degree, and my Nick is purple belt in jiu-jitsu. But in jiu-jitsu, it's different. There's only 5 belts. There's white, there's blue, there's purple, there's brown, and there's black.
Okay.
And usually it takes, like, I don't want to say it, but I think 2 to 3 years, or maybe 4 years in between each belt to work up. And it depends. Like, I've met people that came and trained at the gym, at my brother's gym, and, like, we teach them stuff, and they learn the curriculum, and they get good at that. And then I've met other people at other gyms that they get belts just by paying their membership. Like, you'll pay 3 months of membership, you'll get your first strike. That's
what I did. That's what I did at karate.
Yeah.
Like, I was also, like, 6 years old.
Yeah. But a lot of martial arts gym, it's like, if you pay us, we'll promote you. But the way I've learned it is, no, you need to put your time in. Like, if you're paying for your membership, but you're not showing up to class, you're not going to get promoted. Like, that's just not how it works.
Well, it's like the gym, too. Like, it was, like, you know, like, just to say you're a member at whatever gym doesn't mean
you're going to get it in shape. Yeah. So, he does that, and he wanted to fight, and I remember, like, going up to his fights and being in his corner, and it's, like, I would get stressed by watching him fight. And him, like, he's a different... Like, I remember when we were kids, like, me, I was always, like, the loving younger brother, like, you know, when you get haircuts and they give you a lollipop, like, I would always ask for 2 extra ones for my brothers. And, like, you would ask my brother Nick what's his favorite thing to do, and he's like, hurt people. Like, that was him at, like, freaking 12 years old. So he has the mentality to be in the ring and to fight. It's just like, then that's partly the reason why I changed the way I train, is because, like, I remember when I started my business, like, I was really into powerlifting, and I wanted to be the strongest version of myself. Like, today, I wanted to squat 500 pounds. I wanted to deadlift 600 pounds. But at that point, it's like, injuries are going to happen, and if you don't know how to recover or listen to your body, you're just going to end up hurting yourself. And that's partly what happened. My brother was training in a gym, and we like, when we were training all day, we weren't recovering right, we weren't doing anything right, and then he ended up tearing his labrum in his hip, had to get surgery. I ended up ripping my meniscus in my knee, had to get surgery. So, like, at that point, and it all happened at once. Like, 2018, he got his hip surgery, and then it was like usually it's a year of recovery for a hip surgery. And then me, I had my knee surgery in 2019, and then COVID happened. Yeah. So, like, a lot of our goals shifted, and that's why we changed. But I feel like if he would, like, now he's training my oldest brother's girlfriend to fight, and I think she's going to be pretty badass.
All right, so let's take a 2-second breather. There's a few things I want to talk to you about, namely your hair, and you got to talk about my fitness. So, yeah, well, let's take a 2-minute break, and we'll come back. All right,
sounds good.
Cool. All right, so we're back. We were talking a little bit off camera, and you're talking about vision boards. I think that's a really cool concept. Me personally, I've never done that. But I do have a lot of goals personally, and like, let me hear what the vision board does for you, because I feel like that's awesome.
So the way I use my vision board is just to keep your goals on top of your mind on the daily. Okay. So, like, let's say, like, everybody gets busy, everybody has stuff to do during the day, but, like, we forget to think about our goals, and sometimes, like you said, how to get back into training. Sometimes people, like, they forget why they started. Yeah. So having a vision board and having everything you want to achieve on that vision board, it's like a daily reminder of, like, this is why you're doing this.
So you literally look at it every day?
Pretty much. Like, you put it at a spot. Like, for me, it's in my office. So, like, every day I go in my office to either answer emails or just to do stuff, and it's right on the wall when I walk in. So, like, sometimes, like, even if it's, like, I don't look at it, like, I'll like, in my peripheral vision, I'll see, like, whatever, something that I put on, and it just reminds me, like, okay, yeah, that's why I'm working for this.
So it could be personal, it could be financial, it could be, like, anything, right?
It can be anything. Like, for me, on my vision board, I have, like, a goal of the amount of money I want to save, like, on there. Nice. Just the number out. I have the garage that I want to build on my property. I have a picture of the garage. I even had a freaking cutout picture of a Bouvier de Flandre, the dog that I wanted. Yeah. And I think it took me, like, a good 3 years to find a Bouvier de Flandre, because they're so hard to find. And that's, for some reason, like, that's all about, like, my manifesting. Like, I like to manifest things. I like to, say things like, let's say if I want to lose 20 pounds, I'll say I lost 20 pounds. I lost 20 pounds. And then over day, like I'll just say it over and over again. And then like, how am I going to lose 20 pounds? I got to be in the gym. I got to eat right. I got to do all these things. So it's just everything I want to achieve is on my vision board. Like even the family I want to have, like I have like a picture that reminds me of a family, just stuff like that.
But does that put pressure on you, or like do you get disappointed if that doesn't happen? Or like, is there a timeline on your vision board, or is it just like, this is what I would want one day?
It's more like, this is what I want one day. Like,
and these are realistic things.
They're realistic goals. But I read a book. It's called 10X, and it's whatever your goal is, multiply it by 10. Because let's say I'll put numbers. I want to save $100, and I end up saving up $90. I didn't reach my goal.
Yeah.
But if my original goal is to save $100, and I say, okay, I want to save $10,000, and I end up saving $9,000, like it's still way more than my first goal. So I'm a big believer in like dreaming big.
Okay.
And having like everything times 10. Just so like I've never really felt disappointed because I don't really have like let's say if I had a competition, I want to lose X amount of weight to be on stage by that date, then I have the pressure of being on ready on that date. But if I have like the house, I had the picture of the house like I was telling you earlier.
Yeah.
Me and Amy, we lost hope in finding a house. Prices were crazy. We were getting outbid at $120,000, $160,000, and I just ended up drawing a little picture on my vision board, and I sticked it there. And it's not like maybe like a year in living in that house, we looked at my vision board and we're like, holy shit, that's exactly the house we have. Like even the trees, like I drew like a couple of trees on the side, and there was trees. The house was blue. And
it must have been a weird feeling.
It was a weird feeling, but for me, I'm a huge believer in manifesting. Like like let's say like me and Emmy are starting a new business on the side, and like Emmy's always coming back home and she's like, oh, I don't know, like that person is also doing that business. That person is also doing that. I'm like, who cares? Like we're gonna have the best. We're starting a small cut flower farm.
Okay, so what's small cut mean?
It's just like little bouquets.
Okay, nice.
Little flowers. Like let's say if you go to Farm Boy and there's like those little bouquets of flowers of the same flower, like stuff like that. That's what she wants to do. And she's always coming back home and saying like, oh, like this person is doing this, and I'm like, who cares? Like you're gonna do it, and you're gonna do it 100 times better. And it's just about being confident about like putting it out there that you want to reach it. It's like I think it's called the law of attraction.
100%. Like I admire your confidence, man. Like for me, it's like selling houses. I started real slow. It took me a long time to get to where I am right now, but I don't have that as much confidence as for you, where it's like, you know what, manifesting. It's already done that goal, right? So, good for you. Good for you.
Thank you. It's partly like next time I'll bring my brother, because my brother got me onto that.
He got you into that.
My brother was big on manifesting, and I saw him reach like all his goals, and I'm like, shit, it actually works. And then I started doing it, and some people will be like, oh, it's not true, but there are the people like sitting down and not doing it, and other people are doing it, and they're way happier and reaching their goals. And
yeah, as long as you're moving, I think that's enough, man. Because rather than just sitting there thinking about what you should do, actually go for it, right? Nice. I wanted to say, so what's your main clientele for like SBS? Is it, you said it's not people that are like trying to get abs. It's more people that are like lacking a little bit of mobility or have pain, right? Because I saw on your website that's like you mentioned that. So fuck, I have the knees of like a 95-year-old grandmother. Like they're cracking. Like listen to this. Hold on. Oh shit. Okay. When I need to crack it again, I'll tell you.
It's okay. I think mine will crack.
Yeah, like they crack. I need to crack them periodically, and like if I squat or if I do anything, like if I walk a golf course, I have knee pain.
Knee pain, yeah.
Shoulder mobility is an issue. I was one of those guys who would try to like lift like bench and like not have the best form. And then, like, I swear to God, I tore some shit in my shoulder, like,
probably, or
my chest. Like, it's so, like, I can't go like this for, like, more than 30 seconds. It hurts.
Well, shoulder pain is mostly related to, like, posture. But that's, like, my main clientele is, like, people that not necessarily want to get fit for a competition or want to reach a weight loss goal. Like, I'll help people with weight loss goal if they come up to me and they show that they're ready to put in the work and they're not going to cancel on me. Like, I'll take them up. But most of the time, most of my clientele is people that they've been working out for 10 to 15 years and they've been struggling with knee pain, they've been struggling with shoulder pain, and it's not getting better. So that's my main focus, like people that want to improve their pain.
Do you find like getting into the gym and like improving your overall fitness really comes from within, or do you need to have somebody to push you to do it?
It depends. Some people get their motivation differently. Like me, I'm not going to wait for someone to tell me to go in the gym and do a workout. Like, I'm going to stand up, go and do it. But some people, like I have clients, they're like, oh, Eric, if you weren't here, I wouldn't be doing these exercises.
Okay, yeah.
So, like, some people need
like
that push. Yeah.
For me, like, it's always been like, if no matter who would tell me, like my parents always used to tell me, okay, well, you know, like, not in a mean way, but you're overweight, like maybe you should watch it. It would go nowhere for me, but until I decided that, all right, I gotta do something here.
Exactly.
That's me at least. So
well, it's I think it's like that for anybody. Like, I can't force someone to get fit, but one day they'll be like, okay, I need to do this for me, and that's when they usually stick to it. I met a lot of, like, personally, when I was a kid, I was like an overweight kid, and my parents would always say like, oh, you need to do sport, and I did sport. I just ate too much. I loved food, so like for me, I remember like people would tell me like, oh, you need to lose weight, and like, it would come in through one ear and get out through the other. And then one day I just looked at myself in the mirror and I'm like, okay, I need to do something about it. And then I never looked back. So it's going to really stick to someone when they tell themselves that they need to do this for themselves.
I completely agree.
Yeah.
Because, like for me, that's I need to do it for myself, not so much.
But going back to your knee pain. So knee pain is a lot related to ankle mobility. So, like, I don't know if you were told that when you grew up, but we were always told we need support for our feet. We need support. You need a shoe that will support your foot, right?
100%.
100%. That's what everybody tells me, like, oh, yeah, no, you need support. But the reality of it is the muscles in your foot are the real support of your whole body. We stand on our feet. We walk on our feet. We do everything on our feet. But what we've been taught is to wear shoes that will do the work of it, like will support your foot instead of having your foot being strong. And what happens is with time, your muscles just stop working. Like, they don't stop working, but they're not
working as hard as they need to, maybe.
Exactly. And we also, like, I could go on. And now that we have the cameras, I don't know if people like feet, but what happens with shoes, like these ones, my foot is, if this is my foot, and my shoe, my toes are all like squished together.
Right now.
Every day. But we wear shoes all day. We walk, we do everything in shoes. But the reality of it is your foot needs to have stability. To have stability, you need to cover a bigger surface. So a lot of times I get people to see if they lost mobility in their feet. And most of the time it's the case. Like, you should be able to have your foot on the ground like this, and you should be able to lift just your big toe, and then put it down, and then just lift your small toes, and then put them down, and then
Fuck
do
off.
it.
All of them separately?
Yeah. I'll do it if you want me to show you. But you should be able to move your feet, and you should also be able to spread your toes. Okay? And that's a thing that a lot of people are not able to do.
I can spread like a couple of them.
But you don't have the mobility in them, right?
They're like fingers for you?
Oh, yeah. I can grab things.
What?
I can move them around. So if you have a strong foot, then you have a strong base. Okay? And one thing that the ankle does is it's ankle mobility. So when we squat, we need ankle mobility. Yeah. But with time, like, girls, they'll wear high heels. Guys will wear like pointy dress shoes, and will just lose a lot of mobility in their feet. And with time, like, walking in those like pointy dress shoes or high heels, we get tight calves, and then we get a lot of tension around our ankle, and our ankle doesn't move properly. So when our ankle doesn't move properly, it puts stress on the knee. So that's why most of the time knee pain is not from the knee actually hurting. It's from something either with the foot or the hip that's off balance that's going to create pain. So what I teach my client is, like, first thing we do, we start from the feet and then we work up. So if you're not able to move your toes and you don't have good ankle mobility, that's the first thing we're going to do. And by the time we improve that step, most of the time people are like, oh my God, I don't have knee pain. Like I had people come in for an assessment with me and they left an hour after, like with no knee pain. And it's just because people are not aware of these. Like we've been like a squat. I remember when I grew up, they said your knees shouldn't pass your toes. But now the research shows that your knees should pass your toes. And to have a strong knee, you should have full knee flexion during your exercises. So when I give clients programs, I just don't make them do squats. I'll make them do like mobility within the workout. Because there's a lot of time clients of mine will come and they'll be like, oh, my doctor said to stop squatting. My knees hurt. And like, what does that do? You're going from doing exercise to no exercise. Your pain's probably going to worsen, and that's just not the way to do it. And most of the time, doctors telling people to stop doing those exercises are doctors that are not even doing those exercises. So who are they to speak? Yeah. So that's the thing. When they come, you just teach them how to move properly, and within their program, you schedule the mobility. So instead of just saying, okay, you're just going to stretch or you're just going to foam roll, it's like do these exercise and improve like with these exercise, and then over time I'll change them, I'll progress them. Sometimes you have to regress an exercise just so they can understand what they're doing wrong during let's say the squat. Yeah. So instead of squatting with both legs, I'll get them to do a unilateral exercise, and now they can understand, okay, my knee's supposed to be here, I'm supposed to have my tripod foot, I'm supposed to have pressure on my heel, my under my big toe, under my small toe, and then they're able to focus on one side. And then once they master those both sides separately, now we build into the squat. Wow. And then during that time, we improve the mobility. So at the end, they're able to actually squat with good form, and everything's moving right, and then they don't have knee pain. Wow. Yeah.
It must be rewarding when you get like a client that tells you, you fixed me, like I don't feel any pain, like you said. Like that's a wonderful thing.
Mm-hmm. Like I have this client, she's 100% going to watch this podcast. She's a big fan. And I remember when she came to me, she said she had a bit of health problems, so she had to take there's a lot of things that happen, but she didn't have the strength to cut an apple. Like you know those things that you press down an apple? Yeah. She didn't have the strength to push down, and that was kind of the light switch that said, "Okay, I need to get stronger." And then she started working with me, and that's a family friend that my mom knew for a while, and now like she's a badass. She's fucking strong. She's able to she can deadlift more than like
me.
Probably. She's and she's the type of client that tells me like, don't tell me the weight. I don't want to know the weight. I'm just gonna do the thing. So most of the time she doesn't even know how much weight she's doing, and I'm like okay, you're gonna do 5 reps, and then she's like okay, and then she does it like phenomenal form, like walk in the park, and I look at her, I'm like that was like 215 pounds that you just did, and she's like what? And then I always remind her, I'm like, remember when you came and you said you couldn't cut an apple, and now you're fucking picking up like 250 worth of pounds?
That's definitely more than me. So. Yeah, no, because I have shit form, and I would break my fucking back trying to lift 215 pounds. Legit shit form. I'm not even lying to you.
But yeah, it is about form. You could probably lift 200 pounds if you knew
over time, if you've gotten good form and you work to it.
Exactly, because a lot of times people, like especially the deadlift, they think they just have to grab the bar and pick it up. But it's a whole process. You need to like wedge yourself underneath the bar, pull the slack out of the bar, make sure your core is braced, make sure your feet are at the right position, and you're engaging all these muscles. And then instead of just pulling with your back, you're using your entire glutes, quads, hamstring.
You've seen those videos where like people just deadlift, like it's like a joke, right? Like people, they have like their backs are completely rounded.
Yeah,
it's like, oh my god, like you're literally gonna be handicapped by the end of this video.
Mm-hmm. Like I remember in high school, like even now, like just going to the gym and like looking at younger people deadlift, like nobody's teaching them how to deadlift, but they just watch online, like, oh, this is what you're supposed to do, and then they just do it. And then ego lifting is a thing. They just start lifting because their crush is over there, and they want to impress their...
And your friends, too, right? Their friends are lifting more than you. I got to do it. And then that's how you, like, destroy your body.
Yeah. So I remember in high school, like, I
would you do that?
Oh, I remember I was ego lifting. Like, all my friends were there. And I was pretty strong for my age and my size back then, but I remember horrible form. And I ended up getting hurt. And that's what kind of made me kind of be more interested into like the recovery and being able to move pain free, because I spent, when I was like 17 years old, my whole summer I had horrible back pain. Like I couldn't move. I couldn't lean forward. I couldn't stand up. Like I remember
17?
17, I couldn't freaking move. I remember going to in a roller coaster, and the whole time I was like screaming because every turn my back was hurting. Like it was that bad. And I did 2 months of physio, and they worked on my back. They did like acupuncture. They did all the machines they have, suction cups, all those things, and it didn't improve. And that was the first year that I went to Sudbury to do the course. And I remember like telling one of my teachers, like, I'm in horrible pain. I can't move. And most of our classes, like, we're in the gym doing exercise, learning these things. And she said, you need to see this guy, André Sénéchal. He's a physio, is a chiro.
Oh, okay.
So I went to see him, and I remember, like, I had just spent 2 months doing everything for my back, and nothing was improving. And I met him, and within a session, I was pain-free.
Wow.
And I remember, like, it wasn't even related to my back. It was my hip flexor from squatting wrong and doing all these exercises wrong. And then he taught me, and I remember, like, at 17, I was under my dad's insurance, so I would just, like, claim under insurance and go see, like, I didn't even have problems. I would just say, like, oh, can we look at my squat, or can we look at my deadlift? And he had just opened a clinic, so he had time, so he would always show me stuff. And in my program, we had to do a placement, like, to just work in the real world. And then I did it with him, so I spent, a whole semester just, like, watching what he does with clients, like, looking at his assessment, and then he would, like, at the end of the day, he would be like, oh, you should read this book, you should read this article. And he kind of, like, guided me into the right path of, like, what I wanted to do. Because I never wanted to be a physio or a chiro where I'm sitting in a room and working on someone. I wanted to be the guy in the gym, like, throwing weights up and doing the exercise and programming, stuff like that. And now I was able to, like, bring a bit of, like, rehabilitation into, like, my client's program, because everybody needs rehab. Like, you said have knee pain, you have shoulder pain, you probably have pain somewhere, and it's just about programming proper, like, good exercises so it helps you get stronger and improve from those pains. And most of the time it's just issue with mobility.
Wow.
Everybody starts, like, probably your kids, they have a perfect squat form. But as we get older, we lose that perfect squat form, and then we start getting all these knee pains, hip pains, and we start moving and we start compensating.
Yeah.
But yeah, you look at a kid and they have, like, perfect mobility.
I know.
Why do we lose it over time?
Wow, that's very interesting. Wow. Yeah, you're right.
Because we don't use it.
So I gotta come see you one day. I gotta improve my mobility. Like, yeah. Let's finish off by talking about your hair.
My hair. My pink hair.
Is pink.
Yeah.
It's real pink. How did that come about?
Well, me and Amy and a couple of friends, we love doing festivals. Like, we love music, and we love being in that atmosphere of, like, having this big stage and having, like, multiple artists perform in a day. And for me, like, dyeing my hair is, like, something I do a lot. Like, growing up.
You do?
Yeah. I remember the first time I dyed my hair, I think I was, like, in 4th grade. My mom dyed it blonde. My mom used to always dye her hair. Like, my oldest brother wanted blue hair. She dyed his hair blue. He wanted green hair. She dyed his hair green. And my mom was always open about, like, just, like, letting us do whatever we want with our hair. And I had my hair blue, yellow, orange. That's when I was, like, a kid. And then once I dyed my hair red on my last day of high school in 6th grade. And I ended up getting suspended on that day. So, like, the whole last day I was sitting in the office because I had red hair. And my mom got, like, she was pissed because I remember the principal, she was an older lady, and she would dye her hair, like, you know, that, like, red, but, like, not brown red.
Yeah.
And she's like, how come you can dye your hair red and my kid can't? And it started, like, a whole fight in the office. But, yeah, I ended up getting suspended for having red hair in elementary school. And it's just something I like doing, like.
Oh, it's not just for festivals.
No, like, sometimes, like, before in high school and in elementary school, I used to do it, like, here and there. And then in 2017, we were going to a festival, and I'm like, you know what? I should dye my hair. And I ended up dyeing my hair blue. And then after that, like, it like, washed off, and it was silver, and I loved it. And then I have, like, with COVID and everything, we didn't do anything. But Osheaga was a festival we wanted to do in 2018, but it got in 2019 or 2020 or something like that. It got pushed off because of COVID, and then we decided to go this year. So on Friday we got it. We were there from Thursday to Monday. We only did 2 days because we only wanted to see the Foo Fighters were supposed to be there, but they canceled.
Yeah, who did you see? I saw your stories.
Animal
EDM
Glass.
Artist. Okay.
No, Osheaga, like Ilsenik and Veld is more EDM. Like I'm not a big EDM guy.
Me neither.
I like Foo Fighters. That's
nice.
That's mostly why I bought my tickets to go see the Foo Fighters, but they ended up canceling. But there was Animal Glass.
That's
which
Heat
is
Waves, right?
Heat Waves, yeah. All those songs, they were good. There was this girl called Nikki Dragon. I was like, who's this? But then I have one of her songs on my playlist, so I'm like, okay, we'll go see her. And then the closing show was, I can't even remember. Animal Glass.
You were wasted.
No, I don't even drink that much.
Mm-hmm.
But the best day was on Sunday. We saw Machine Gun Kelly.
Oh, nice.
And we saw Dua Lipa.
Oh, Dua Lipa. I love Dua Lipa.
She was really good. And there was other artists, but those were like the main ones that we saw. But we dyed her hair pink because of Machine Gun Kelly, because he has pink hair.
He dyes his hair a lot too, no?
Oh, I think so. But he's like, his new album is Everything Pink.
Oh, okay.
I think that's the name of the album, and he has pink hair. And my friend, whose name's also Eric, he wanted to dye his hair, and he kept saying like, "Oh, I want to do it like not the permanent version. I want to do this one, like the one where
it
you
washes
just, like,
off."
Yeah, you washes off, and I'm like, dude, it's freaking hot. If you put your hair, you gel in your hair, an hour in the festival, you're gonna be sweating pink. And I'm like, you need to bleach your hair, and you need to do like a proper color. And then he was like, I remember we were in the Shoppers for like 30 minutes, and he was like contemplating. And I was like, I made my decision. I'm like, we're buying this. This is what we're doing with our hair. And he was like looking at other like boxes, like, oh, maybe this one is better. And then we ended up just using the one we had. We bleached our hair. Our hair was like white, almost like blonde, almost white. And then we did a box dye. But then our hair came out like orange. So it wasn't the pink that it was supposed to be. And then the next morning, like right before going to the festival, we ran to Shoppers. We found like it was like a really, really neon pink. And we're like, fuck it, we're doing this one. So we ended up dyeing her hair. And that's why my hair is pink. We went to a festival. And I think it's like...
Are you going to keep it?
Maybe it's gonna wash off. I think this one is like a semi-permanent.
Okay.
Because it's already like pastel colors on the side.
Okay.
Starting to become like more.
You gonna shave it all off, or?
I don't think I'll shave it. I think I'll just like fade it out.
Oh, nice.
That's what I did last time. I had blue hair, and then I got a haircut, and it looked sick because it washed off as like a silver. Nice. And I had a nice fade, but I don't know. I have a haircut tomorrow. We'll see which does.
All right, cool, man. Well, you know what? This has been awesome.
Thank you for having me again.
Thank you for coming. Like, I think there's been a lot of useful information that you dropped today. So, whoever's listening, I'm sure you learned a lot. So, thanks once again, and let's call it a night.
Yeah, next time I'll be with my brother. So
yeah, I'm gonna fight him. No, I'm just kidding. I'm gonna get my ass kicked. All right, thanks. Bye.
Bye.